Hello my friends. In this video, we are going to talk about something that could save your life or the life of someone you love. We all know that as we get older, our bodies change. Sometimes we brush things off, telling ourselves, it's just age or it will pass. But what if those small annoyances, like a strange hiccup, sudden dizziness, or even a change in how your face feels, were really warning signs of something bigger, like a stroke? That's why I want you to stay with me. We're going to go through 10 unusual warning signs of stroke that almost no one talks about. If you learn these today, you'll be more prepared to protect your independence, your memory, and your future. Because knowing what to look for can make the difference between full recovery and a lifetime of disability. Before we start, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your state or city in the comments below. And if you have any natural health tips of your own, feel free to share those too. Someone else might really benefit from hearing what's worked for you. Point 1. Persistent hiccups. Let's start with something that sounds harmless, hiccups. We've all had them after eating too quickly or drinking soda. But here's what many seniors don't know: when hiccups keep coming back and refuse to stop, they can sometimes be an early warning sign of a stroke. This happens because the brain stem, the part of your brain that controls breathing and reflexes, can be affected by changes in blood flow. When that happens, the nerves that control your diaphragm, the muscle that helps you breathe, may start to misfire, and you end up with hiccups that just won't quit. Doctors say if hiccups last more than a day, or if they come with other symptoms like dizziness, sweating, or vision changes, it's time to take them seriously. Seniors with high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart rhythm problems are at even greater risk. Here's the truth: it's easy to laugh off hiccups, but if they linger or feel different from usual, don't ignore them. Call your doctor or get checked right away. Early action can prevent a small warning from turning into a major stroke. Remember, sometimes the body whispers before it screams, and hiccups might be that whisper. Point 2. Sudden dizziness and nausea. Now let's talk about dizziness. Many older adults are used to feeling a little lightheaded when they stand up too quickly or when they haven't had enough water. But stroke-related dizziness is very different. It comes on suddenly, it feels overwhelming, and it often brings nausea or even vomiting. This kind of dizziness is caused by a problem in the cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls balance and coordination. When blood flow to this area is blocked, even for a short time, the world can feel like it's spinning out of control. Seniors sometimes mistake this for vertigo, a stomach bug, or just getting older. But when dizziness is sudden, severe, and doesn't ease quickly, it should never be ignored. Here are the warning signs: if you suddenly cannot walk straight, if you need to hold on to furniture or walls to steady yourself, or if dizziness comes with double vision, slurred speech, or weakness, this could be the start of a stroke. The key message is simple: sudden, strong dizziness is not normal aging. If it happens out of nowhere and feels disabling, call 911 right away. Acting fast can save brain cells, independence, and even your life. Point 3. Tingling or numbness. Another warning sign that often gets ignored is tingling or numbness. Many seniors brush it off as, my circulation, or, I must have slept on my arm wrong. But when numbness comes on suddenly, especially on just one side of the body, your face, arm, or leg, it can be the body's way of saying a stroke is on the way. Here's why it matters. When blood flow to certain nerves in the brain is interrupted, the signals that control sensation don't get through. That's when you might feel prickling, tingling, or even complete numbness. Sometimes it lasts only a few minutes and then goes away. Doctors call this a mini-stroke or TIA, and it's a serious warning. In fact, research shows that about 1 in 3 major strokes are preceded by these short episodes. The danger is that people think, it went away, so I'm fine. But the truth is, that temporary numbness may be the only warning before a much bigger stroke strikes. If you ever feel tingling or numbness on one side of your body, especially if it happens with slurred speech or vision changes, don't wait. call 911. Quick treatment can prevent lasting damage and protect your independence. Point 4. Double vision. Let's move to another sign that's easy to overlook: sudden vision problems, especially double vision. Many seniors think vision changes just mean they need stronger glasses, but when your eyesight suddenly shifts, seeing two of everything, blurred objects, or even losing part of your vision, it can be a sign of stroke. Here's what happens. A stroke in the brain stem can affect the tiny nerves and muscles that control your eyes. When those muscles stop working together, the eyes no longer line up properly. That's when the brain receives two different images, and you see things doubled or overlapping. Sometimes this is paired with dizziness, imbalance, or even a headache. The important thing to remember is that stroke-related vision changes are sudden and dramatic. They don't creep up slowly like age-related vision problems. If your vision suddenly splits, blurs, or seems to jump in and out, that's a red flag. Doctors warn that ignoring this symptom can delay treatment, leading to permanent disability or even blindness. So if you ever experience sudden double vision, don't dismiss it. Get help right away. Quick action could save your eyesight, and your life. Point 5. Cold sweats/clammy skin. Now let's talk about something many people would never connect to stroke: cold sweats. You're just sitting quietly, maybe reading or watching TV, and suddenly you start sweating. The room isn't hot, you haven't been exercising, and you don't feel anxious. Yet your shirt is damp, your skin feels clammy, and you may even feel weak or confused. This can happen because when blood flow to the brain is suddenly interrupted, the body sometimes reacts with a fight or flight response, breaking out in sweat, turning pale, and even shaking. Most of us think of cold sweats as a heart attack symptom, but studies show they can appear before a stroke as well. Here's what to watch for: sweating that comes out of nowhere and doesn't make sense, clammy skin paired with dizziness or slurred speech, or sweating that shows up alongside weakness or numbness. If this ever happens, don't just assume it's your blood sugar or the temperature of the room. Seniors, especially those with blood pressure or heart problems, should treat unexplained cold sweats as a red flag. If they come with other strange symptoms, call 911 right away. Acting quickly can make all the difference. Point 6. Neck or shoulder pain. Many seniors wake up with a stiff neck or sore shoulders and assume it's just arthritis, aging, or sleeping in the wrong position. But here's the truth: sudden, unusual pain in the neck or shoulders can sometimes signal a stroke. The reason is that important arteries run along the back of your neck, carrying blood to the brain stem. If one of these arteries becomes narrowed, blocked, or irritated by a clot, you may feel sharp stiffness, aching, or pressure in the neck and shoulders. Unlike normal muscle pain, this discomfort doesn't go away with stretching, massage, or rest. Instead, it often lingers or grows worse. What should you look out for? Pain that appears suddenly without an injury, stiffness that doesn't improve with your usual remedies, or neck and shoulder pain that comes with dizziness, vision changes, or weakness. These are not normal aches and should never be brushed off. Doctors warn that ignoring this kind of pain can allow a dangerous stroke to strike without warning. If the pain feels different from your usual arthritis or muscle soreness, get checked right away. It could be your body's way of signaling a serious problem with blood flow to the brain. Point 7. Excessive yawning. Yawning might seem like the most harmless thing in the world. We all do it when we're tired, bored, or sitting in a warm room. But here's something surprising: excessive yawning, especially when you're not sleepy, can sometimes be an early warning sign of a stroke. Doctors believe this happens because a stroke in the brain stem can affect the areas that control body temperature and oxygen balance. When these systems are thrown off, the body may try to correct itself by yawning again and again. It's not the kind of yawning that comes once or twice, it's the kind that keeps coming, one after another, and feels impossible to stop. Here's what to notice: yawning repeatedly even when you're well rested, yawning paired with other strange symptoms like dizziness, weakness, or slurred speech, or yawning that feels excessive and unusual for you. Because yawning is so common, many people ignore it. But when it happens in this unusual way, it can be a red flag that blood flow to the brain is being disrupted. So if you ever find yourself yawning non-stop without a clear reason, take it seriously. It may be your body's quiet warning before a stroke. Point 8. Facial twitching. Another sign that often gets brushed off is twitching in the face. Maybe your eyelid keeps fluttering, or the corner of your mouth pulls on its own. Most people blame stress, tiredness, or too much coffee. But when twitching happens often, spreads to other parts of the face, or comes with other symptoms, it could be a warning of a stroke. Here's why. A stroke can disrupt the blood flow to the nerves that control tiny facial muscles. When those nerves misfire, you might notice twitching, spasms, or even a lopsided smile. At first, it might seem like a minor annoyance. But if the twitching continues, spreads from the eye to the cheek or mouth, or pairs with slurred speech or weakness, that's a red flag. Doctors have found that seniors with unexplained facial spasms may be at higher risk of vascular problems, including stroke. The problem is that most people ignore it until it's too late. The key takeaway: an eyelid that twitches now and then is usually harmless. But if twitching keeps coming back, spreads across the face, or shows up with other unusual symptoms, don't wait. Call your doctor or 911. Acting fast can prevent lasting damage. Point 9. Sudden redness or burst blood vessel in the eye. Now let's talk about something that might look harmless on the outside but could signal trouble inside the body: sudden redness in the face or a small blood patch in the eye. Many seniors think it's just from straining, coughing, or getting too warm. But in some cases, it can be an early warning sign of stroke. Here's why. When blood pressure rises suddenly, the tiny vessels in the face or eyes can swell or even burst. That's why you may see redness across the cheeks or notice a small red patch on the white part of your eye. While these changes can sometimes be harmless, for older adults with high blood pressure, they may be the body's way of showing that blood vessels are under serious strain. And if a vessel bursts deep in the brain instead of in the eye, the result can be a stroke. What should you pay attention to? Redness in the face that appears out of nowhere, blood patches in the eye that happen more than once, or eye and face changes that come with dizziness, weakness, or slurred speech. Don't brush it off as just cosmetic. If these signs show up suddenly, it's time to get checked. Quick action could stop a minor warning from turning into a life-threatening event. Point 10. Tremors or mini seizures. The last unusual sign is sudden shaking or tremors. Imagine holding a cup and your hand starts trembling so much that you almost drop it. Or your arm jerks for a few seconds and then goes back to normal. Many seniors assume it's just nerves, Parkinson's, or getting older. But these sudden, unexplained tremors can sometimes be a warning sign of stroke. Here's why. When blood flow to the brain is interrupted, even for a short time, it can disrupt the electrical signals that control movement. That's when you might notice trembling, spasms, or even short seizure-like episodes. They may start and stop quickly, making you think it's nothing serious. But doctors warn that these brief events can be the brain's way of crying for help. The red flags to notice are tremors that appear suddenly without a history of shaking, jerking that comes and goes without reason, or tremors that happen along with dizziness, numbness, or slurred speech. Not every shake means stroke, but when it's new and unexplained, it's better to be safe. If this ever happens, don't wait, call 911 and get checked. Quick action can prevent long-term disability and give you the best chance of recovery. Prevention tip: start your morning with warm water. Before we finish, I want to share one simple daily habit that can lower your risk of stroke: drinking a glass of warm water first thing in the morning. It may sound too simple, but it works. Here's why. During the night, while you're sleeping, your body loses water through breathing and sweating. By the time you wake up, your blood is thicker and your circulation is slower. This makes it easier for clots to form, which is one reason strokes and heart attacks are more common in the early morning hours. A glass of warm water helps rehydrate your body, thins the blood, and gets circulation moving again. Warm or room temperature water is best because it's gentle on the stomach and helps relax blood vessels. Just one glass before your coffee or breakfast can make a real difference. Research shows that seniors who stay well hydrated are much less likely to experience strokes compared to those who don't drink enough fluids. Think of it this way: your morning water is like giving your brain and heart a fresh start each day. It's free, it's easy, and it may protect you from one of the biggest health risks we face as we age. My friends, we've just gone through 10 unusual warning signs of stroke: hiccups that don't stop, sudden dizziness, tingling, double vision, cold sweats, neck pain, yawning too much, facial twitching, redness in the face or eye, and even tremors. At first, each one may seem small or unimportant, but together they remind us of something very serious: our bodies are always talking to us. And remember the prevention tip: start your morning with a glass of warm water. Combine that with regular movement, balanced meals, and managing stress, and you give your brain and heart the best protection possible. I hope this talk has not only given you knowledge but also the confidence to act. Please share this with a friend or family member. You never know whose life might be saved by this information. Stay strong, stay alert, and always listen to your body.